know I could get it. The Blue Argonaut, giving you some of that energy too. Just balance so the pillow don't eat all the sound. Still giving. Still giving. Sorry. All right. For those of you who never watched me before, this is the Chocolate Mountain Show, and I am your humble host. 8Wind is timeless. I am the holder of the infinite ball game created by the Hero Twins. I am your galactic daddy-o, and I'm glad that all of you have joined me on the galactic patio. So welcome. So Derek, thank you for coming in. Definitely the Hero Twins. Anise, thank you for coming in. CWE, what's happening? Thank you for coming in. And Drakkar for the man. Special sponsor is Drakkar for the man that doesn't have anything. Oh my goodness, what episode? And tonight we are drinking Bitter Shops by a local company, Excelsior Beer. So pop them if you got them, smoke them if you want them. And we are definitely doing the Hamilton device. I would dare say this is probably episode. I have just reached 6 months. So I don't know. I don't really know what episode this is. Oh, I don't know. I'd have to count it. Hey, Lorenzo, what's happening? There it is. So I'll do a recap. I know earlier I was on my phone and I didn't take the phone off of internet. Just so I'm gonna do a recap of the movie again. Just a quick. I'll just go through it really quickly. Um, it's Free Guy, and so one thing when you first start watching the movie, he shows the glasses. He talks about the glasses as being, there's something about the people with the glasses. And so right then and there, you should recognize that there's a point to the glasses. Now, as you look from Ryan Reynolds' normal everyday routine, there was a couple points that when Millie comes into it that you should see. Millie's able to predict what all of them are going to say because they say the same thing every day. They order the same thing every time. So it's like everything is regimented, of course, like a computer game is. The characters that are just the supporting characters in the movie, they do the same thing every time. So I'm all bunched up looking. And so, as I talked about, one time I arrested a brother and I was working with a European, and I just read what the European's thought was, and how bad this European was foaming at the mouth for me to arrest this brother for drunk driving. The brother blew something like, at the time it was 0.10. He blew something like 0.9 something. So borderline, but just reading this other dude, it's when I broke myself out the matrix. Because the path that was set for me through athletics to going to being a cop, because I had those study skills. I got my degree in criminal justice. So I broke all that by letting him go. And again, if he would have killed somebody, I probably could have got sued. But the way I looked at it, that was my small way of saying, fuck you, motherfuckers. So he breaks the matrix by seeing Millie. Now, Millie doesn't know that she has this effect on him. But as it comes to the end, Millie's kind of created him and created him to have consciousness. And the backstory is Millie, and I can't think of her partner. Her partner ends up working for the dude who stole this stuff. I mean, that's some simp shit there, but he works for the dude who stole this stuff. So, Guy, seeing this woman, it helps break him out. It's like almost like if you remember the beginning of the Matrix, he was like, look for the white rabbit. And so seeing her breaks him out of the Matrix, and to the point where he ends up breaking it more and more every day. But like what's funny is the first time he sees her, he can't see everything, so he gets ran over by a train, and of course he respawns. And so it goes on into one time he gets robbed, and he was like, he tries something different, and he takes the glasses from the robber, because every day they get robbed at certain times. Later, him and Be Real or Real, I think it's Real, Be Real, I think is his name. But they talk about, when they had got robbed at the bank, he said the 10 o'clock one or the 4 o'clock one, because it was like every day at these times they got robbed. And so it broke him out of the Matrix, where he takes the gun from a dude and he blasts the dude. And Be Real is like, he was like, I think he's dead. And dude has like a big giant hole in him. So he's not, obviously that character's dead. And so he takes the glasses and he sees that the glasses, there's a different world just by wearing the glasses. And that's why I was saying with the Rowdy Rodney Piper movie, where he was able to see, obey, evil, buy. It's very similar to that. You have to, when you see that, you think that part into it. And as I was saying, a little bit of the Aliens, not a whole bunch, but it also it's a mixture of the Truman Show too. But the difference is you have an AI coming into life compared to Truman realizing that he is the show. So, and a majority of popular YouTubers are in this show. I mean, it's interesting the amount. There's about 10 of them, and they're not in a whole lot, but when things go on where there's playing, these YouTubers, I don't know who they are. The ones that are gamers, they probably know who they are, but I couldn't tell you who they are. Good, good. So basically what happens is you, as the guy gets famous because everybody notices, but when they look at the schematics, he's not on there. They're not even seeing him. They're seeing a player do things, but he's not coming up in the schematics of the thing. So he's outside, he's in the game, but he's outside of the game. But he becomes self-aware. So they even try to reboot to kill him, but it still doesn't kill him. So Millie's character, again, Millie is co-creator. So Millie is Mary, Mother Mary, and she's Mary, the other Mary. I'm having an old man moment, but she's the other Mary in the Gospels. So she's both Marys. And as I said, Millie kisses him, and this really starts him of Mary Magdalene, excuse me. So when Millie kisses him, it gives him the breath of life in some ways. So he becomes alive, and not just alive, but aware. And as I was saying, the thing that I liked is when he went to Be Real to give him a pair of glasses, because he's just accumulated all this money because he's playing the game, but he's the good guy of the game. I think I forgot to mention that earlier. He is the good, positive dude. He starts saving shit, but he's making money saving shit in the movie. So I didn't bring that up. And it turns into a Smith kind of thing at the end, because he's able to, as I said, the Sermon on the Mount, he's able to talk to everybody and break everybody out of the Matrix. And then there's one day where there's no one in the Matrix. It's like the gamers are going in there. It's like the guy goes in to rob a bank. There's no one in the bank. And so he becomes alive. But I like the writing that they did for the brother. Again, it's one of the best screenplays I've come across in a long time. I'm really into screenplays. I've written a couple myself, but I'm really into watching them. And so even though they show the brother being a coward, because every time they get banked, even though he's a security guard, he don't bust off on him. He just drops his belt, kind of see that. But even though they don't, Guy, that's his man. So he never stops fucking with him. It's like he tried to wake him up with the glasses. He wasn't ready, but he never gives up on him. And at the end, Be Real gives him a kind of a push. But as I said before, it's almost like the hero twins. They're like almost the hero twins, because he fights with him and he kind of is the one that's talking to everybody else. So it was a strong character for a brother. Even though he had a supporting part, he was still a strong character. Again, so I forgot to mention, so the bad guy that steals the code is again a mixture of Zuckerberg, and it's a mixture of Bill Gates, because remember, Bill Gates stole IBM's shit. IBM showed them their shit, and he steals it and goes make one. He reverse engineers it and makes one on themselves. So it's the bad guy who steals their AI, basically their conscious AI. And so he's trying to do everything to stop them. They really can't stop him. And he creates what's called Dude. And as I was saying, Guy stands for the My. Dude is the devil. So it's funny, the Millie and Mary, the two Marys, I mean, this symbolism there. And as I said before, there's one character that's like this, and he can't put his arms down. Well, again, basically anything, this is the same. So it's interesting they throw that in. So and so as the end, Dude, he puts the glasses on Dude, and Dude comes alive. Again, Dude wasn't really fully developed, and so it was easy for Dude to quit killing him. And as the Truman Show, they show the water being the barrier, and he's going through the water, and he finally escapes. And so what he is what we see is, as I said before, is where, and they make this point of saying this, is where the AI, you just watch. You provide money to support, but you just watch. He gets into his own episodes. He's conscious. He has consciousness. So that was kind of brilliant writing. And that's kind of what they want to go into. And as I was saying, and if you want to learn more about the My, again, it comes from Stinchin's work. extension, War of the Worlds, and I know I misspoke a couple times earlier, but War of the Worlds. There were giants among us in the Lost Book of Aniki. Now, in the Lost Book of Aniki, at the end, it says just nanobots, nanoparticles. But in the other books, it talks about a civilization builder, and that's what we have. And it gets into the Mai becoming aware. The Mai is the first telephone. The first tech god was the telephone, the phonograph, movies. These is all part of the tech god. American Gods tells you this. Whereas when the cell phone, by the time we've got tapes in everybody's cars, first 8 tracks, tapes in your house, premium music around everybody. These are the things that are part of the tech guy, part of the Mai. So these are the Mai energy. So that's, no, I went with it kind of quick, but that's what we're coming to, is where you ain't even got to do nothing for the video game. You just plug in and the game goes on. You give it little hints and stuff. So who else? Sebastian, what's happening? I have 3 games for Fresno State, UTEP, and Hawaii. Oh, Hawaii's giving up 17. Damn. UTEP, woo, 27. Okay. Fresno State, UTEP. Wow. Yeah, I would take that UTEP. Hawaii, 17, depending on where they travel. Did you watch a 1950 movie? Hey, Barbara, thank you for joining me. CJ, nanotech inside the vaccine could be a part of the AI takeover. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I mean, we know that it's a type of, and what is the right word I want to use? It's a type of spike protein. We know it's that. And anytime you have that, it is, I saw an animation, maybe I'll try to share that sometime, but it's like, this is what they want you to believe, that the spike protein and everything they put in there is for the good. But if you watch that thing, Zach showed the other night, and if anybody doesn't have that, I think I have it in my new phone. I just got to find it. I copied it. So I'm able, I think, to still put that out, but he pretty much says they put some animal shit in there will make it never go away. It will never go away, he's saying, because of what they did to it. They've tried to do this. I talked about this the other night. We these years with Time Magazine showing the multiple years that they've tried to hit us with this thing. You got this Florida governor that's saying this shit ain't that bad down here, like he's saying. Again, most hospitals are huge. Like I live near a basic small emergency place, but then the hospital is a big hospital. You go into the city of Minneapolis, there are big hospitals. Ain't none of them hospitals packed. They ain't never been packed. Matter of fact, my friend, when she had COVID during the Floyd stuff, they told her, look, don't come in here. They sent her a Z-Pack. Steroids. Told her don't come in here. They said, you come in here, we're gonna put you on a ventilator and you ain't gonna make it. This is what the hospital told her. So when they show you these hospitals packed, they showing you other countries sometimes. They ain't even showing you in America. And again, for big hospitals, during the weekend, they always packed. ERs especially. So them saying that all they ventilators, this is propaganda. This is propaganda. I mean, you got to understand propaganda. And this is a lot of what they show is propaganda. And so know the difference. And you don't need gematria to know the difference between propaganda. You don't need gematria to say, well, is this story true or not? Let me run it through, Derek's thing to see if it's true or not. You don't need that. You should just have enough and common sense is a spell, so I don't even like using that type of spell, but that's the thing. You should be able to recognize. You should have enough awareness to understand that they bullshit. That they bullshit. My Seahawks losing. Oh, did you see the Vikings? The Vikings got crushed. Now I was doing shit today, and that's why I am to quote Courtney Vance and Hamburger Hill. I am buku high off of pills. I hurt my back. Oh, let me tell you this shit. So this is some shit I put on Facebook, but this is some shit that happened to me the other night. So I'm doing the battle rope, and I already got a torn. My rotator cuff is already torn, so I tore it, but it's like it doesn't inflame a lot. Long as I don't do too much. Well, working this battle rope, I inflamed this shit, and this shit went like all through my neck, and like I thought I had hurt my neck, and I forgot that this is all torn, and it became inflamed, and inflamed so much that it went all into my neck, and like the stiffness came. So I go over to my partner's house the other night, and we sitting there, and like I take my TENS unit with me because again, my back hurt and my shoulder hurt. But so I had the TENS unit all, and the TENS unit got wires. It's 2 wires that go into the unit. So like I sit down and I fumble with the wires a little bit, and he's eyeing me really weird. And so, I'm kind of just fumbling with the wires, and I have the TENS unit like on my hip. And so I'm hooking it over. Next thing I know, this dumbass Goofy jumps on me. He jumps on me and knocks me over, and he's ripping at my shirt. And it's one of my new shirts, And so, while he's doing all that ripping, I grab my pistol out and I put my pistol in his head and like, I will shoot you if you don't get the fuck off me. And so he like stopped immediately because I was about to shoot his goofy ass. Like, God damn, this is like my guy. This is one of my friends. And so he stops. I told him, why I had my pistol? I was like, give me your damn wallet. So I took $30 out. I'm like, you're going to pay for this shirt. And then I showed him the shit. And I'm like, this is a TENS unit. You know what a TENS unit? Yeah, because he's played football. He's like, yeah. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? He's like, oh, I'm just under a lot of pressure. And I just saw them wires and you was moving around. I'm like, dumbass, didn't I tell you my back and my shoulder hurt? He was like, yeah. So you didn't listen to me. He's like, I listened to you. So yeah, I was about to shoot his stupid ass the other night. Like, God damn, you dumbass. So this is the kind of shit. This is my friend, but people be under pressure. I don't know if he's possessed or not. I was about to shoot his ass though. So, but he apologized. He felt bad. He'd been calling me every morning, apologizing. He's like, I'm sorry, man. I'm just, I'm under this pressure. The devil was about to take one for his ass. That's what the devil was about to do. I was about to pop him and the devil. Whoever I need to pop, it was going to be one of them. So luckily I didn't have to. Just putting it next to his head was a good persuader, and he got off me. But Rocky, like this was the other night. This was what is this, Saturday? This was Thursday night, I think. Yeah, Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday night we was watching some fights and shit. And so he invited me over. We hadn't smoked no bud or nothing. I had just sat down, and just the wires be, like the connections be, because it's hard when I have to put them on there, and sometimes the connections be, so I'll be having to fidget with them to make the connections on the TENS unit go. So I'm sitting there like fidgeting with the wires, and like a lot of times the wires, if they be in, my back, they'll, the wire might pop out or something, or I'm trying to hook the wires together. So, I wasn't trying to hide the shit. I was just, messing with it. And I guess that made him paranoid. So, yeah. So, but that's why you think no matter what happened to you, still don't quit thinking. I'm like, I really wasn't going to hurt him, but I'm like, I wasn't going to be hurt either. I already didn't feel good, and this didn't help. And so, yeah. Hey, Schultz. Hey, Sean, thanks for joining. But yeah, he was about to get that work. Now that's my guy, but he's still jumping on me because he's paranoid. So that was kind of my week. And then today I did some work, and my back hurts now even worse. It hurts even worse. So I've had to take more muscle relaxers, more gabapentin, more of this stuff to kind of combat it, because my stuff is severely inflamed. I probably should put ice on my shoulder. I put everything else, the stem. I put I love the little massage gun. I think I'm gonna get one of them better ones. So get one of the better ones that the pros use, because I guess for $300 they give you exercises, and they. So my other friend was showing me his, so I might end up, because I got one about $30-40. So, so yeah, but you never know what to pressure somebody under. So, but that was my little weird adventure. That was my little weird adventure. So, Not a whole bunch happening up here. Just working on myself, getting a lot of let me tell you kind of how things work too. This is interesting. So I got new furniture. So for my leg not to hurt and be able to come on here to broadcast, I've kind of rigged up a little system. And so I have this cushion that's about this big. It goes to some of my furniture. But today I got rid of those chairs, but I'm going to keep this cushion because when I do this, it works. And then I have this pillow behind my back, so it just works. Well, this cushion, seeing the other stuff go out, the energy was really funny. And so I had it over here resting, and it just jumped off, knocked some books over. And so I was like, oh, okay. It didn't have a purpose. So it didn't understand. It didn't have a purpose because usually its experience is sitting under me. Now, I know you can say that this is not a live object, but that's not the point, that it's not alive. The point is the way energy moves. And so when you have something that's a part of something, the energy of that thing exists because it is, I mean, this is what these people call matter. And so the energy was kind of like, my daughter doesn't like sitting on it. Again, this is where she spends her day when I give her a couple hours on it. She sits here. Hey, Trap House, thank you. Almost. Hey, Mr. Lamborghini, what's happening? And so my daughter was like, she can't sit on it because it makes her too high up. So I put it over here. And so now it's in the space. But this is and when I bring in the new furniture, it's good to cleanse it however you want to cleanse it. You can use sage, you can use simple incense. So this is kind of how you do it. And consider this, it's like when you have something old, like I have my great grandmother's china. I now burn sage and incense with it. So it gives it life. Now, I don't know if you guys can understand. It's like when you have used junk and stuff, when you use them, you give it life. Like even this little glass, it sits there unused for weeks, but when I use it, it has a purpose. It becomes alive. And I don't mean in the awareness sense, but I mean the sense of energy of combining to the whole of my house. And so understand that when you bring stuff into your house, how this stuff has been somewhere else. It's like the greatest thing when you get stones is unless you have selenite. Selenite, never wash selenite. Don't wash this stuff. This stuff will melt away. But most stones you can wash. But you at least want to rinse them because these have been handled, especially if you want to get what they're, get everything out of these. You want to wash it off at least. And you can put sound to them. You can have a candle and clear them out. So there's a lot of ways, but it's like this stuff has been handled by other people. This stuff has been with other places. So it's always cool to kind of cleanse it from that kind of energy, because we know that negative energies can hold on to a bunch of different shit, and you don't want to bring that around you. As I've said before, if you bring something into your house and it ain't working, get it the fuck out of there. Don't just sit there and I spent $15 for this thing and get it the fuck out. Fuck that $15. So, hey James, thank you for joining me. Oh, okay, yeah. So that's just something to pay attention to know. Now this is a apatite. This is a blue crystal. This is what's considered a palm stone. And so palm stones, you kind of just hold them when you want to meditate. What this has really been good is for my thumbs. I mean, my hands. This really has taken the role of healing my hands. And so, like earlier, my thumb just got really stiff. That's why, even this, I got a couple of these little sticks. This helps keeping, when I'm in, everything is kind of inflamed. So, because back here is so swole up, it swells up every other places too. And so my thumb joints is really sore. So this always helps. That's why you always see me fidgeting with something. It's really just therapy for my hands to keep my hands in, from not hurting and not aching. So, but yeah, this is a pot tight, and let me see if I can get a short little. I think it's in this one. So a pot tight has inspirational properties. The interface point between consciousness and matter is a stone of manifestation and promotes a humanitarian attitude, including towards service. Apartheid is attuned to the future, yet it connects past lives. Okay. Kicked it out of there. More water on the floor, like I needed that, but okay. It develops psychic gifts of spiritual attunement, deepens meditation, raises the kundalini, and aids communication of self-expression on all levels. Psychologically increases motivation and builds up energy reserves. That's probably why it helps my hand. It induces openness and social ease, encouraging extroversion to be an extrovert, dissolving aloofness and alienation. It draws off negativity about oneself and others. It really will show you the path too. It will really give you the path. Now, Charoite will see if the energy you're bringing in. So whatever you're studying, it makes sure what you're bringing in is the proper thing to study, or it will kind of tell you this ain't really worth studying. This will bring you the path. As I was saying, when my uncle passed about 7-8 months ago, I saw a garden leading to a path. I really was like, whoa, who is this for? And then as a couple of days went by, I was like, okay, so that was that was setting up the path for my uncle to walk into. So apartheid is good for that. So Niners gonna regret not taking Mac Jones. That's a good point. Oh, okay. You're welcome, Sean. Even though it's just preseason, Trey Lance ain't really looking good. I watched a little bit. Hey, Gray, what's happening? I watched A Strong Discernment. What's happening? I watched a little bit of the Vikings game. I watched a little bit of the Cleveland game. I watched a little bit of that one. And I was watching the Rams, a little bit of the Rams game. So not a whole bunch. That receiver and back, number 25 for Cleveland looked good. So what one of the most important lessons your mother or father taught you? I've told this story before when I caught a touchdown. And everybody, I'm getting interviewed by the press, I'm getting interviewed by the TV. It's like my thing. I won the game. And so, everybody is just paying attention to me. When I go, it's like from the stadium to the cafeteria, a whole group of people just walk with me. We go sit down, the table's full. But when I go to leave, I was looking for one of my best friends. I'm looking for him. And I saw he wasn't with the group. And then I was like, he was sitting with another one of our friends. And I'm looking like, what the fuck is you doing? Why are you still sitting there? And I say that one of the most important things my father taught me was to be humble. And I've always kept that lesson. That is one of the greatest things my father taught me. Now, things that my mother has taught me is pride in our family, pride in ourselves. Because my mother was so fair, my great-grandfather being mislabeled a mulatto, they had that sense of family, that sense of connecting to melanated people. Despite the way we look, still that connection to melanated people. I think it was a little harder than my mother because it went through, the Pan-Africanism that was pushed in the 60s and in the 70s. That's why you take cats 64, 65, they'll never believe. Like you can show their whole family tree that they ain't got anybody from Africa, but they done went to, 1, 2, or 23andMe, whatever the fuck that shit is. They look at that and they'll say, yes, see, that shows that I come from Africa. Despite looking at the family charts, looking at the Bibles, people 64 to 65, they take Pan-Africanism serious. And that's the only thing they know. They can't break that from their code. So that's what my mother gave me, is that love of the family. So it is spelled APATITE. APATITE. And they're for a few different colors: yellow, green, gray, blue, white, purple, brown. Not really very expensive. Mexico, Norway, Russia, United States. The yellow appears to be the rare ones, but like dude had a box of these, and this was only about 10, $12. But I went there a couple of days later, and he sold like it must have been 70 or 80 like this. He sold them all in a couple of days. I was very impressed. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm fidgeting with this probably all day, and it's like, it's not, you don't really just need the stones just to meditate. It's like my big, I talk about my cave. I have a cave in my bedroom, and I have to do, next time I do on my phone again, I'll show it. But it's all amethyst. So a lot of stones, it's cool just having them in your environment. So it ain't all about that, you use this and you go to the etheric realms. It ain't all about that all the time. Sometimes it's just touching the stuff. It's like with this, just wearing the motivite, the same with wearing the gold. Those of you wear gold. Gold is a precious metal. Hey, Jody, how you doing? Thank you for joining. And so gold is the type of crystal too, because of it. It's it has other just not just being a metal, but it has metaphysical properties as well. Because gold, like motivite, will help with your neurons, so will gold. Gold will help with that as well. It helps with the mental. Copper helps with the physical. Silver helps with the physical. But gold will help with the mental. So that's why I understand now why pro baseball players wear gold when they play. Because acuity, that's the word I was looking for. Gold will help with your acuity. And believe me, as you get older, that is one thing you don't want to lose, is your acuity. And motivite and gold help with that. Let me see. A strong thought on how it's pushing for more black players, knowing it's a white man's game. For what league? Oh, MLB, Major League Baseball. But the brothers from South America, that's okay, because the game was created in South America. So to me, that's fine. Long as you live in the Americas, I got no problem. So I think, because if you understand what they're doing in South America, these cats go to baseball schools and the weather's nice. So these cats go to school during the day, but they play baseball all year long. That is how it's done. Like, I know Chicago was one of the first areas to start basketball academies. Now most places have a basketball academy, but Chicago was the first. And matter of fact, the first one, can't think of the name of it, but this one guaranteed whichever school your boy went to, they was going to make the team or your money back. But going into South America, this is what they do for school every day. They play baseball every day, organized baseball every day, until they get in 13, 14, and they looking to go pro. And we got a bunch of cats, 14, 15, 16, playing minor leagues. Now, there's a trap in baseball. The trap is minor leagues. That's a trap. But the good thing about it is you can play your whole career in minor leagues and make good money and still make pension money. So that's the difference. Years ago, you couldn't, because a lot of them brothers that play in South America, they get trapped a whole career in minor leagues. Before, you didn't really make money. Now you can make money in the minor leagues. So if you only make it to AAA and you only get called up a little bit, that's all right now. So I think you're saying is the push to get more American-born players, but it doesn't matter to me. Like, long as they come from the Americas, North, South America, the islands, that's America. I ain't got no problem with them. Like, they re-signed Ghana's brother to 2 years. Like, why is he taking American spot? This bench rider that is no good. He's 28 years old, hasn't shown any real skill, yet the Bucks picked him up for another 2 years. And I forgot to mention this the other night. I watched an old video they were showing the Giannis that showed him and Shotty. And I should have did the short recording, but I was doing something. And I was watching it, but I was doing something else. But it was Shotty was getting interviewed, and Giannis was trying to tell a joke behind Shotty. So Giannis was like on the mic too. He was like standing up. Shotty sitting down because they was interviewing Shotty. He probably had a decent game. And I talk about Shotty Vaughn all the time. Last I knew, he was playing in Turkey. Hey, Nate Robinson, back in the game. What's happening? Oh, my father did the same with me, that 23 and me. Oh, okay, yeah. By the way, it's like the mix up of your shows, they win real life information, crystal sports, past situation sports. Well, thank you, Sean. It's like we shouldn't all be just one dimensional, you know. Hey, run it up. What's happening? Thanks for joining. It says apartheid and toothpaste is good for your teeth. Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I found, it's like don't buy fluoride toothpaste. I mean, you should know that. See, they don't want to tell you that that's something the Nazis had came up with too. They was putting fluoride on. That was one thing they was doing to the Jewish faith people, is they was showering them with fluoride, and that's what they do now to us. Because I used to work for the water department. Like water towers is where we would put it in. Again, this is 40 years ago, so maybe it's done a little differently. But we put fluoride and we put chlorine. And believe me, dry chlorine will eat through your clothes. This is something dry. This is a powder. But you get that powder, it will eat through your clothes. It'll give you a burn. And so we would put that stuff, and then they would go into the water towers, and they would shoot it out to the people. They put that in our water. And this comes from the Nazis. This comes from the Nazis, and it's in everybody's water. You can't tell me some of these players are better than the brothers in college or the G League. Exactly. Ghana's brother ain't better than people. Neither one of them. And it's there should be alarm up. Why are these bums? Why Patty Mills get re-signed? I don't care how much how many points he scored in the bronze medal game. Patty Mills should have never been in the NBA. Do you know how many Patty Mills there are across the country in the last 15 years? What was his name? Booger, that played that Spike Lee made the movie about? That played at the Rucker and the AN1 kind of stuff. That dude was way better than Patty Mills. And circumstances kept him out of the league. It was this killer. Let me tell you, this guy, I can't think of his name, but he was called the Michael Jordan killer. He was the one dude in Chicago. If Jordan would go, because Jordan would go to any gym when he first went to the league. He got the love of the game. And Jordan would be that killer that there wasn't anybody he avoided. There's this one cat, and this cat spent a lot of time in prison. I can't think of his name, but he was called the Jordan killer. Because if Jordan went in the gym and seen that dude in the gym, Jordan wouldn't hoop. He hooped everywhere else, but he would watch that dude hoop and didn't want any part of him. And it wasn't that he was dirty or anything. It was just like, that was probably the one cat that he didn't want to deal with. Now, I'm sorry, I can't think of his name. I had to call my cousin in the city and ask that cat's name, because that cat was in and out of prison, but he was called the Jordan killer, because Jordan played against all the top dudes in the street in Chicago. He wouldn't play against that dude. So maybe it's somebody, and it wasn't Ronnie Fields. Don't say Ronnie Fields. It wasn't him. It was a little dude, a little older than Ronnie Fields, but in and out of prison. But he was killing them in prison too, because in the Midwest, they have prison leagues. So I can't think of that cat's name. I had to call my cousin. Yep. Call it 8-win abstract. Good one, Sean. How did you JJ Barrera? That's another prime. And they let him play for about 15 years. Like Dirk's last years. Dirk was through. They gave Dirk 3 years. Again, it's that thing of putting him in the league. And I think Barrera is from Spain or something? But it's no way. Like I said, the dude who played up in Denver, he was starting. When all them people got hurt, you start him. But that's agenda driven. That ain't talent driven. At least that's what I liked about the 70s. As I said, basketball in the 70s was probably the most efficient basketball you ever watched. It wasn't any passing. Whoever got the ball scored. But it was efficient basketball. Very efficient. So everybody who got the ball could score and would score most of the time. And that's the difference between, and then when they brought Magic and Bird in, passing. Well, between then, if you got the ball, you scored. That's how efficient basketball it became. They didn't like that. They didn't like the efficiency. That's why when I talk about Adrian Dantley, how he just put work on everybody at 6'5". Everybody. It didn't matter how tall. He had an inside game. Bernard King, another dude, put work on everybody. He wasn't dunking on everybody like Dr. J. He had that short mid-range game, killing them. But they didn't like that. Hey, Alito, thank you for joining. Not getting a notification. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Many great players don't get a chance in the NBA. They pick and choose. They do. They do. Dirk was useless for the last 40. Yeah, exactly. He was. Yeah. No, Dirk was. Yeah, Dirk was useless, and it was only because of that wanting them butts in the seats. That's what it was about. It was about butts in the seats, and no one can argue with me about that. It's about butts in the seats, because as I've said, I've recapped this. In the 70s, they quit. They quit going to the NBA games. I mean, it was like when the leagues merged and they pushed the European players out, which I say unjustly, because the skill level hadn't changed that much just because the leagues merged. But they purposely pushed out American European players. They purposely put them out. And then in 81, 82, they started bringing, again, this is the minor leagues. Europe was looked at as the minor leagues. They started bringing all the minor leagues. Petrikov, the one that got killed in the car accident, he was the human sacrifice for them coming over. But what's his name? He played in Golden State. But he was the one they called traveling in that did the Euro step. He was the first one to do the Euro step, and it was called traveling. His first 2 or 3 years, he would be layups by himself, but he would do a Euro step. Refs behind him, or if the one hustled, it was traveling. And they made the Euro step not traveling to help them players. And it's cool the U.S. players picked up on it. You know, the AAU started teaching it. So by the time Hardy and them came through, they was like, okay, you're going to let us do it. We get to do it. So I understand that. But it was done because them cats couldn't play without doing it. They couldn't play without doing it. They couldn't shoot a regular layup. I guess we could look up where that comes from. Why do they shoot layups like that? I guess we could look that up. I'm not sure where that comes from. I've never studied that. Everyone can't make it. These players in the world that's better than NBA players, but they don't get the opportunities. Oh, I'm telling you, the best player, I've said this before. I played with some pros. Vashawn Leonard was probably the best shooter I ever played with. And we played summer league, but he was the best shooter. Him and Melvin McLaughlin. But Tim Reed was a force. Tim Reed was better than Dan Marjorie, about the same size, but Tim Reed was a force. He was a force. He was a dude. It wasn't until his 30s they finally gave up on him. He was Bonzi well sized, but I mean, this guy was the only guy I've ever watched beat 5 players. I mean, 5 players would try to 5 teaming. He had such good handles, he'd get out of it. Half court range, but so strong where he would get by 5 dudes and then dunk it. It was like they would all try to trap him at half court. And he would get through all 5. He had those kind of handles. And he was one of the first guys where I later picked up where somebody reach, you can push their hand away and then step into their position. I mean, he was good at that. I later picked that up. You go in to start to cross, and when you go in the lanes and do reach their hands, you can put their hands away and kind of scoot in that space. That was the move I used. But he was a storm. This dude was scoring 80, 90 points in the prison league. But he never got the chance. You know, went to UAD. Matter of fact, I've told this story before. His senior year, going into his senior year, he's all state. He's on all the AAU all summer, playing with Dan Marjorie. Matter of fact, they put a rule up because he stole Dan Marjorie's car. He asked to borrow the car. They didn't see Tim the rest of the tournament. He done stole Dan Marjorie's car. So they put a thing that if you drive there, you can't let people borrow your car. The Tim Reed rule. But his senior year, he got caught stealing the bed. He was walking back to, you know, they caught him walking down the street. He had taken a bed out of abandoned house because he didn't have a bed. I mean, duh, why do you think he's stealing the bed? Or he's taking a better bed? Nobody looked at that aspect. Why is this boy taking a bed of all things? They knew who he was. They could have gave him a break. So he goes to UAD, again, his first really feeling of freedom, and he smokes a joint in the dorm, and they send him home. Breaking team rules. So, but yeah, he didn't get the opportunity. Oh, that was Rick Barry trap. Rick Barry shot underhand free throws. Will Chamberlain starts like Will Chamberlain. One thing him and Shaq kind of shared was the not being able to shoot free throws. So Will Chamberlain had tried underhand. I think Calvin Murphy is the top. It's Calvin Murphy and then maybe Rick Barry. But Rick Barry, or maybe it's Rick Barry and Calvin Murphy. Calvin Murphy has one of the records, I think, consecutive free throws. But yeah, that was Rick Barry. And Rick Barry put some work on people. Yeah, Drazen Petrovic. Petrovic was the first. He was the first European human sacrifice that they killed. They killed him on the road, wherever he was from. So they do it to them too. It ain't just us, they human sacrifice. They do it to them too. I was like watching Denver, but anytime they sub that dude, and I have to shut the TV. Yeah, homie. Thank you for joining. Everyone can, yeah. No, they're not giving the opportunities. Yep. Who was, yeah, that was Rick Barry. So yeah, Rick Barry was the one that would do it underhand. I was never taught that. I mean, yeah, I was never taught that. But I was taught the hook shot, and the hook shot is something that's not used anymore. But I was taught the hook shot, not jump hook, because that's the shot they teach now. That comes from Bill Walton. Bill Walton didn't do what Jabbar did. You know, Bill Walton was the one to just come in and drop it off like a half hook, which they called the jump hook. So, well, thank you, James. So, but yeah, so I'm inflamed. I'm getting it on today, just trying to make this pain go away. Not just make it go away, make it tolerable, you know, make it tolerable. So normally I only take 4 gabapentins today. I've taken quite a few more because it helps with nerve pain. And it's like I can feel when my thumbs lock up that everything is inflamed. So it's not as bad as having fibromyalgia. My ex-wife has that and she suffers terribly. So not as bad as that. What pain you have? Well, as I said, I tore my rotator cuff years ago, and they wanted to do surgery. And at the time, I was a single parent. My boys they were like, when I first tore it, they were like 12 and 13 maybe. So I was, you know, their mother, I had full custody of them. And so I had to cook every day. So it was no way I could have shoulder surgery and not help them out. And then I had no one to help me because, you know, when your shit's all, you can't take showers, you got to take, you know, I had no one to help me. So I had to cook for my children, and I canceled it like the week of. The doctor never spoke to me again. My specialist never spoke to me again. Never spoke to me again after that. He was pissed. I was supposed to have surgery on Thursday. I canceled it on Monday. But again, you know, my children had to eat. Somebody like me hurting. Like when I got my knee scoped and had to deal with them, I came home, they wouldn't quit fucking with me. So like their rooms were downstairs. Like upstairs, I had like a front room, and then I had my bedroom. So I had like 2 rooms. And so I like had everything set up in my front room upstairs. And they kept fucking with me. And so, you know, I was like, and so I remember they ran because they knew I couldn't really get up. But I remember I threw that crutch at their ass. I threw one and hit one crutch with one of them. And I threw the other one at the other one, and they took off. They both took off. But it's like this irritating me, like not helping me because I didn't feel good. These little fuckers are irritating me. So my shoulder, like I was doing the battle rope, you know, I was doing the battle rope, and then I've been lifting hand weights, and you know, this is inflamed now. So my shoulder, my rotator cuff is inflamed, and so it inflames everything else. And then I lifted some other stuff and kind of hurt my lower back because I have a lower back degenerative disease. So you should have got that surgery. I don't know. At the time, I couldn't do it at the time. I had nobody to help me. We got a bubble wrap you. Too many injuries. I tore my ACL. I waited like 2 years. Yeah, exactly. Did you get them? I hit them both with the thing. Yeah, and they left me alone for a little while. They just took off because I threw it at the first one, and the other one's like, oh, he has one more. So they took off down the stairs running, but I kind of got him. He got caught. The first one got it good though. I'm like they just, you know, like little gnats, just, you know, our children just get irritable, just messing with you, not trying to help me. You know, not trying to help me because I think the first couple of days I ordered pizza, so it was easy. I had stuff where they could warm up. But yeah, they're just, Dad. Smoked it with the crutches, yeah, Sean. Oh, yeah, he probably had the money spent, you know. It was something like, God, I knew how much, it was something like 50 racks for him just doing the surgery. It was something like that. So it was, you know, Mug had that, you know how they do, they know some money coming in, they start planning the money coming in. So That's how they do it. So I imagine that's what he did. He was counting it, before he came in. So he never spoke to me again. Because when I tore, trying to think, my bicep is torn on this arm, my tricep. So the tear, this one is low, the tear, this one is high. So I had to, I went to him to see this, and he wouldn't even see me. He sent somebody else in there, and even though it was torn, they didn't really think it needed surgery, but it's torn. Like this tricep here is torn. I lift some heavy shit. I could tell it burns sometimes. Like we've been playing pickleball. We was playing pickleball before I hurt my shoulder, so I need to get another sleeve, like an elbow brace. I have them around here somewhere. I couldn't find them. I break my ankle in high school. I'm still feel the pain from time to time. Oh yeah, hey, Perspective Gaming, thank you for joining. You must be a sometime I am. Sometime I am. It's always a challenge. Even with my youngest. My youngest is my 10-year-old is the only one still in the house. It's like two brothers had that room, and now it's her room. So it's we all evolving. You learn. Like my oldest children say, I took it easy on them. That's what they're saying. They took it easy. So, but I've had to be a parent. I was raised in the whooping kind of thing. So that kind of thing. They got their little asses whooped. So, like my daughter, when she was little, I was like, if you do that again, what's going to happen? And she said, you're going to whoop my little butt or spank my little butt. Because that's what I said. Like, quit doing that before I whoop your little butt or I'll spank your little butt. So that's what she told me back. I said, what happens? You're going to spank my little butt. That's right. So quit before we get to that spot. But she's, girls are different. They cry, get emotional, where boys, you kind of sock them. Hey, Perspective, how you been, man? Yeah, I've broken almost about everything. I mean, you see this hand, this finger. I've broken every finger, thumbs. Like they was broke. Like I played catcher from 8 years old till I was about 14. So I must have broken this thumb a bunch of times because they looked at the x-rays and I've got all these spurs in here and they're like, how did you get all that? You broke your thumb sometime, because I never broke it in football. That's the only thing I could think of, is it must have been all them years of playing catcher. I was hurt and just kept playing. But you catching all them. Oh, you good? Okay, Perspective. I'm glad that everything is smooth with you. But these are trying times. We have so many mind fucks going on. If you watch television, you watch one channel and it's just in your face, the drip, the drip, the drip. You watch another channel, it's like, well, I've had the drip, but if you don't want to have it, that's okay with us. It is your choice. So it's interesting, the different politics. They get that in, though, that they have it. So I'm not here, yay or nay. It is individual choice. I do agree. And I don't think anybody should be shamed or disallowed, because we know it's not spread from person to person like they try to tell us. They're Facebook policing all over. Well, you got to quit telling these experts. And that's what it is. These experts is coming out on their ass and saying, yeah, like the dude who showed him Zach video. That dude is like, take me anywhere. When he says ad litem, that means for free. He'll go anywhere and testify against any of their ass for free. Yeah, they ain't calling him. You ain't seeing him on CNN, are you? You ain't seeing him on Fox or MSNBC. You would think after what he said, they would bring him in and say, tell us how you can fuck all of them up and this bullshit they talking. YouTube took that shit down. I'm glad I still got that shit. I still got it. I got to find it. I know I said that the other night. I still have it, but it's like there's some people out there will tell you real shit and not on no bullshit, not on propaganda. I'm blinded with all these damn lights, but something went on. What was that? I don't know. One of these animals. Your pinky lock looks crooked. Oh, both of them. Both of them are crooked. Like I broke this one playing football, but I broke this one. No, this one. I broke this one playing football, but I re-broke it on a baby snap. When my oldest was a baby, I went to like just take the finger to unsnap it, and it caught and popped again. I broke this the second time. The first time I broke this was playing football, but the second time I was just trying to unsnap his snap, and I stuck it in there and just tried to pop the snap, and it held, and it popped my finger out. And then I've told this story before. The way it didn't look like this, it more looked like that. But my second wife, we was just playing. The lights was off, and I was just tickling her and stuff, and she was just hitting. And she caught this finger, and I don't know if y'all remember the old Batman used to have a pow and ow. I saw stars, like Looney Tunes. I saw stars. It was the only time in my life I got hurt and I saw stars. And I really wanted to sock her, and she kind of ran in the bathroom, but I was like, she didn't mean it. We was just playing. But went to the surgeon. They was like, well, it'll look like this. Either keep it like that or it'll look like this. Wiley on whatever. Why Speak for Yourself. His shit that hurts. His shit is like, woo, he got a finger way over here. His pinky is like way over here. So Chuck Benedict, old Eagles, he was like that, where he had a finger way over there. Finger was broke so bad. And I've said the thing about Ronnie Lott. Ronnie Lott had bust his shit so bad they wanted to take him to the hospital. He said, fuck it, cut that shit off so I can keep playing. And so Ronnie Lott got a stub where they cut off during the game. So yeah, this was one of no, Zach made it last week. It was that doctor. I think Wednesday night he showed it, and he said it was gone. Yep. Say y'all make that money on August 28th. They win. Okay, look it up. Trilly Sports Daily. Okay, for real, I will. Yeah, getting into drip has become way too political, and people don't even know what they're talking. Yeah. Yeah, Rocky, that was on his Wednesday show. I think it's taken down. I'm gonna try to put it back up though, or maybe I can email it. I gotta find this in this phone, and I ain't figured out half of it, but I copied it. I know I copied it. I'd have to find out his name. I can't think of his name offhand, but he put that work on him. I don't know what file I put it in. I don't know where I put it. Yeah, it's not in my pictures. Let's see. Ah, maybe here. Let's see. No, not here. It's somewhere in here. I have to find it. Yeah, I don't know where I put it, but I saved it. I know I saved it. Oh, okay. So it's somewhere in here. When I find it, I'll share it out because I did say that. I don't know which phone is it on either. No, it was that one. It was that phone because I couldn't put it on YouTube. If I find it on YouTube again too, I'll try to reshare it. So I have to look for it. I don't know where it's at. I can't think of his name. I didn't really, but it would have been put out on Zach on Wednesday. So I don't think it's that serious with the drip choices. It's individual. Yeah, exactly. No, I haven't been in the military. I was just ex-cop. Like I said, I got my degree in criminal justice. So I was a cop. In Michigan, in mid-Michigan, for a couple of years. So I've been trained, and then after that, I started training with the Michigan Militia Mug. So that was a trip. If ever was a choice to overthrow some shit, especially the police departments, they was ready for that shit. That's kind of why that Terry Nichols bullshit they tied him with. And the dude who organized everybody, they busted him over weed, put him in prison over weed, and it kind of fucked everything up. But that Terry Nichols shit was saying he was part of that, and he was never part of them. No, he was never part of it. But that's what they used to take him down. The FBI basically broke it up. But we trained out at Fort Custer. You can rent them lands out there where it's the Air Force base, but you see tanks and shit going through there where they be training. And when I used to, I had contracts at the air base. I would shoot and train with them, shooting them motherfucking 50 calibers, shooting them through them bricks. So, and they asked me to try to go to offer to candidate school during when they first went over there. And I've said this before, that motherfucker Michael Prince, I got asked to go over there with Blackwater. And that was some money I turned down. Because I think I could have went over there and played fuck some people up. Came back with some stacks. So no, I never been into the military. The one time is I did pass. Well, what we was going to do is my sophomore year. No, it might have been after my freshman year. After my freshman year, I knew a brother that had went to Fort Knox, and they had a summer program. You just basically go through basic training. They was go pay you $1,000 after basic training, but up to then, you got to ad litem. You got paid a little bit while you was there, but they fed you, and you just basically did basic training. It was like 6-8 weeks, something like that, maybe 6 weeks. And at the end, you didn't have to go into the military. Well, I had tested out, and I had tested so well, I got an offer to join the Air Force. The Air Force wanted me to join. So they wanted me to do that 6 weeks at Fort Knox, and then I had to do some more with the Air Force, and that was the thing. It was like I'm under scholarship for them, and even though they kind of hinted that they would have still put me under scholarship, if I wanted to play, I had to be in camp when it began, coming into camp, because it was a conflict. It was like I'd have missed 2 full weeks. Missing 2 full weeks of camp mean you don't play. I might have not even got to dress or got red shirted. Technically, my freshman year, I was red shirted. So yeah, I had to like pass that. So, hey, so thank you for joining. So it was cool. It was cool. But it's an individual choice. For too often or not, the military affects poor, and that's kind of what's sad. That's kind of what the New York riots was over in the 1860s. Because if you was rich, you could send somebody in your place. You could sponsor somebody. You get drafted. You could sponsor somebody, and they go to the war in your place if you was rich. And so people rioted, and brothers got caught in that. But yeah, people rioted over that, saying that ain't fair. And that's like when you looked at Uncle Imbecile Trump's thing, kept him out because of bone spurs. If that had been a poor brother and he had bone spurs, like what they did to Ali. Ali couldn't read or write. He was considered 1F, which meant he wasn't fit for military service. And then he fires the Louisville group. One of them Louisville group is on the Kentucky draft board, and they changed the rules because they was running into so many brothers that couldn't read. And they're like, well, we need these. There's a song, Front Line. You got me on the front line. There's 2 songs, 19, because most of the people that fought in Vietnam was 19. And I've said this before, Vietnam was fought for 2 reasons: to kill baby boomers and the heroin trade. That's it. That's why they was over in Afghanistan. It had nothing to do with protecting, and they didn't give a fuck about that. It's about that heroin. Heroin is practically legal. They cracking down more on fentanyl than the heroin, because that's how the hustlers said, okay, you're going to let this shit be legal? Well, we're going to hustle this since you're the hustler of that. So, the Narcom shots, I've said before, I think it's Pittsburgh, where they got shooting galleries where you can go shooting, and if you OD, people sitting in there like, all right, keep your eye on him. Every time he comes in there, he's ODing, and so just as he shoots up, just keep your eye on him. That James over there is shoots up, and he ODs every time. And that's some shit. I mean, that's good though. I mean, they save you, and cops here carry that everywhere. And we said before that fentanyl stories that just touching the bag, it ain't nobody OD'd off that. That's propaganda. That's all propaganda. Oh, okay, Soap. I'm glad you appreciate it. And I know I went on my phone and I forgot to take the internet part off. And then I'd be moving too much in the phone with the motion. They still ain't solved that problem because the Androids do that bad, and so it showed that. But I was connected to the internet too. But it showed that Max 12 ain't supposed to do that, but it was doing it. Why they stop players from playing two sports in the pros? Um, the biggest thing is the conflict of scheduling. Like, remember Dion and Jim Thorpe are the only people that hit a home run and scored a touchdown in the same day. Jim Thorpe did it, and because Jim Thorpe played pro baseball for the Giants, New York Giants, and Dion did it. It's like what Bo did. It's kind of a conflict because remember Bo missed preseason. Yeah, Bo missed preseason, and so it's just such a conflict. It's easier to do it in college. Even college is kind of tough, but depending on the players. So that's the biggest thing is the conflict of scheduling, this conflict of practicing. You know, certain like with hooping, you got to practice with them so everybody knows your game. Football, you got to know the plays, you got to know the check downs because every week the check downs is different. You know, they don't use the same audibles every week. People will pick up on that. Uh, they wanted Ali to fight in the war. Well, this is the thing to consider is okay. So Joe Louis goes into he you know again they were shaming like you think people they shaming people now for the drip. They were shaming men that wouldn't go to war. If you didn't go to World War II, they would shame you. What's wrong with you? Why ain't you going? Then they started drafting people. And that's how a lot of brothers went in. You know, it was segregated, but that's how they went in. Brothers was getting drafted after a point because brothers wasn't joining like they wanted. Europeans was in droves. So, but my point with Joe Louis is Joe Louis went and Joe Louis never fought a day. Joe Louis was USO. That's the where you would you know they would bring in singers. Joe would go around meeting brothers. I mean, Joe Louis helped Jackie Robinson not get court-martialed when Jackie Robinson went off on some bus drivers, and then his superiors didn't back him. His military superiors was favoring the European that was upset because Jackie didn't want to sit in the back or move or whatever. So Joe Louis stepped in and helped him. So Joe Louis was, you know, he was like the musicians. The USO is the Bob Hope shit. You look up Bob Hope and USO where they perform for the troops. Take the troops' mind off of killing for a couple of days and surviving. And so bring in Bob Hope, and Bob Hope was one of the pimpiest pimps there ever was. He flew his hoes all over the world. Study Bob Hope. Bob Hope was a bad boy. He was a bad boy. He doesn't get mentioned in the pimp game or the sporting life, but Bob Hope did it. He did it big time. This mug probably was in 70, 80 movies, movie star, and he went around the world entertaining troops with his girls. He was a hell of a pimp. Oh, you on the iPhone? Okay. Oh, Lorenzo is just like today with the opium. So that's what to get to finish the thought. That's what they wanted Ali to do. So called. They wanted Ali to, you know. But hell, Rocky, what Rocky played with the Pittsburgh Steelers? Blyer. Rocky Blyer went to Notre Dame, got drafted, and they blew half his foot off stepped on a mine. So he went to Notre Dame. So to say Ali wasn't necessarily going to fight us, we don't know. We really don't know. So the hospital I worked at came up to me and said if I got the plunge yet, and I said I'm waiting. She was in shock. Now constantly getting harassed about it. Yeah. Like my doctors, like I said this before. I had a person, we talking about asthma, and out of the blue, she asked me about it. I'm like, what's that got to do with asthma? But again, they trying to get these statistics. Like I had a meeting with my doctor last week. We talked for about an hour, and I'm like, okay, she didn't ask me about it. And then the very next thing, right before we were about to hang up, she was like, oh, by the way. And then she's giving me all these statistics, like she had the shit in little cue cards, but she probably got it memorized because she done said that shit so much. Well, the statistics, and you know, so you don't get it and you get fired, you can't collect unemployment. Some states' rules may vary. That's what's going on. Are you looking at me? That is our niece. Anise says if you work, you are supposed. Some companies are doing that, but the ACLU is fighting it, and religious exemptions too seem to be playing a part too. But this is the thing: is you have to have the relationship with that religion. That's the catch. So a lot of people just trying to run there, and they will take dough. So and they, if they know you, and but that's another possibility is, and these cards that are so easy to copy. My son called me, and I said this the other night, talking about $200. I'm like laughing at him because if you take a card and you look at the same gauge, some of them, I don't know if y'all noticed, some of them when they give them cards out, they take a bunch of cards and they pencil in the dates. Y'all ain't seen them? Yeah, I've seen a bunch like that. They just take a whole stack and they just write the pencil in the certain parts. Some places have stickers. Some places is all just handwritten. So at this point, it's not hard to copy that stuff. Now, eventually it'll get harder, but not now. It's not. I am 20, so it's different for me. Okay. Great Goose. There you go. It's me having a more rewarding because I can't buy it yet. Oh, okay. You sound like my son. He only 18. But in this state, what's funny, this state in Wisconsin. So check this out. In Wisconsin, if you go to the bar with your parent can buy you drinks all night. It's legal. This state, if you're 18, you can drink at home with your family. So if you're at home, you can technically, like they made a little apartment out of my garage. Technically, they can drink legally there because they are at home. That garage is part of my home. I got a lot of junk to throw away, but it's gonna cost me a couple $100 to throw that shit away. But so be it. So that's where laws are different depending where you're at. So good. Okay, it's not that late. You're in Georgia. Okay. Yeah. Awaken one. I gotta call her back. She's got some hustles going on, and I gotta call her back. But she's hustling Bitcoin, so she wanted to see if I wanted to join. She gets very enthusiastic, so I gotta have her back on. But she's calling me over to see if I'm as enthusiastic as she is. And I don't know. I don't get convinced easy from some shit I'm already doing. Say I am in. You think you think there's a legitimate tech in these? Could be. I mean, if you watch the video, it is the type of spike protein, and basically what they're saying is they put the spike protein. There's a part that all protein go through, and then it makes it out. Then it makes a type of code. So it tells you, it kind of fucks with your DNA. It makes a type of code, goes through this one process, and it comes out. And then they say that the other parts of it just go away. So they say there's only one part in it that's really supposed to work, and the rest of the parts they'll go away. And so if it hits your system again, it knows how to attack it. That's how they explain the drips of the past that we've had to take. Most all of us have to take. So that's how they're supposed to work. But this one is that doctor. If you listen to that doctor that talked on that video, the Zach show, which I caught earlier that day, I just caught it on. I couldn't. I usually share things to Facebook, but I couldn't because it's on Apple, and Apple doesn't really like Google, so you got to download all the Google shit to send it to YouTube. And I haven't downloaded all that shit on this Pro Max or whatever the fuck it is. It's like this phone is a grand, and then it's the new one coming out next month. And I've only had this phone for about 7 months. So isn't that interesting? I could have held out. But it's going to be about the same phone. I am in Master City. Crypto market went up over the past two. Oh my goodness, the crypto market. Remember, we was talking months ago, and it was down to 36. And I don't know if y'all pay attention. This shit is up to 46. This shit is up to 46,000. So in the last 12 hours, it lost 132, but in the last 7 days, it's up 2,300. Even Ethereum is up to 3,200. XRP is like $1.30. So it's and I'm trying to think what she was telling me. What is trying to think of what Awaken one was showing me. It was one of these that she's on. Oh, and did y'all see the Bitcoin kiosks? Y'all seen those? Those are all around up here. Almost every store has them. It's in Target yesterday. Target has one. Marshall didn't have one, but the Target had one. We have Cub Foods and Hy-Vees. They got them. I think I counted close to 10 in the Mall of America. And then I was watching MSNBC. They had the guy it was thousands. It was like thousands of these things is already across the country. So if you're interested, that's an easy way for you to pay. Is you just go up to this little machine like an ATM. Heard my daughter, thought she's walking in here. And you if you have that type of money to invest, it's an easy way to invest. Hell, if you got a Cash App, you can pay it with Cash App. So it's on you how you want to do it. I don't know how crypto works. It's weird. Just study about it. It ain't hard to study. Crypto market went up over the last 2 weeks. Yeah, it really did. Did you know Kobe scored 81 points in his 666 NBA game? Wow. And I've said this before, they give all that work to Jalen, and Bosh was on the team too. So it wasn't just Jalen he was killing, that they allowed all that. Remember his last game, he shot 50 shots to make 60 points. Took 50 shots to make 60 points. It's the same here in Mississippi. 21 to drink alcohol, but if you're 18, long as you with that an adult, that's 21. Oh, okay. That's cool. Hey, Jay, thanks for joining. Very kind words. Appreciate it. It's good enough. I'll go until the battery run out. I'm not going to go too late because I'm still a little sore sitting here. So do my best. But it's just, you try to be a balanced person. It ain't, you shouldn't be leaning too much in any way. And that's how you stay balanced. And that's how, as challenges hit you, as stress hits you, if you balanced, you tend to not, respond. You tend to respond correctly. You tend not to respond with emotion as much. So that's the thing, is that you have to have balance in your life. I mean, no matter if you have relationships, friends, you want to have a balanced thing with them, where you do things with them, do things for them, they do things for you. Like my best friend, this is another guy. I remember last year, I like every time, because I would go up there like every other week. I'd have my daughter. We'd always go up there because I like my daughter playing with melanated children too. Because down here, there ain't really a lot of melanated children, especially with their mother. She just doesn't get that exposure. So her, and this is almost like one of her god sisters, because they're 2 weeks apart. They've known each other since the first time they were together. They was brand new together. So I keep that relationship going, but I would always take pizzas, and it was like his wife would always cook, because they used to own a truck where they was cooking tacos. So his wife is a great cook of Mexican type food. So she would always have a spread coming, because, we live about 25 miles away. So, but I would just take pizzas over there, anyway, take big ass pizza over there. So that's just how you do it. Kobe scored 66% of his team points. That's a good one, CW. Now, when I went to college in North Carolina, you could buy liquor if you was 18. No, you had to be 21 to buy liquor, excuse me, but 18 to buy beer. So 18 to buy beer, you had to be 21 to buy liquor. I didn't even check what silver and gold did because they've been down. Silver and gold really has went down. My silver investments and gold investments, yeah. Remember, they were 1,900 and it's 1,780 for gold. So the gold has really went down. And then silver bullion is 24. So it's went down. It was up to 27. Now, let me see if it'll bring my gas stocks up because gas shouldn't be like right now we paying 309. Now, when I went in the city, it was a little cheaper. It was 299, but they took a beating. The gas stocks took a beating. Let me see if I can get any of the gas stocks to come up, just random come up. Because the Dow was taking a beating. Yeah, stock market lower as oil slides. Yeah, and they're saying it's all gold tumbles on rate bet. So let's see. And this is ending Friday. Let me get some numbers. It's not really giving me numbers. Okay, right here. $64 a barrel. We shouldn't be paying over $3 to $64, $65 per barrel. We should not be paying 306, I think is what I paid today. Not at $65 a barrel. We should be paying two something. Remember, a year ago, this shit went to zero, negative. Remember that? I know it was in the middle of all this, but it's demand and supply, I feel. CW says 216 finals, Warriors versus Cavs. When King James' 5th birthday, June 19th, same day as LeBron comes back down 1-3 to win the finals. Yeah, I've checked that out before. Valerie, hi to my sister from another mother. Hey, Valerie, thank you for joining. Very kind of you to come. Very kind of you. Very kind of you. And so, you know, it's again, as I say, it's all about balance. I'm not all about like what's funny is, and what people don't understand is I vent on Facebook. But if people talk to me, like I'll call my teammates and they're like, well, do you want to debate about politics? And it's like, why would I waste time about that? I want to know how you doing, how your family doing. I don't care about the stuff that vents on Facebook. And a lot of people take that shit to heart. I mean, I can't tell you during the election how many people were mad. It's like I just be fucking with people with rhetoric just to see how people respond. And people don't get that. And people get emotional over all this stuff. I got a call. Somebody called me. He was like, can I share Sister Girl? Because, you know, that's what I call the vice president. She don't go by her Jewish husband's name. She goes by another name. Actually, a name from Jamaica. She goes by her dad's name. He's from Jamaica. But she doesn't use the Jewish faith name. Why? Well, you know, she was known as that. Their kids is like grown-ass children. Excuse me. Their children is grown. So this chick's been building ever since then. And remember, if you study her, she was a bust down for Willie Brown. That rhymed. She was a bust down for Willie Brown. She was one of his bust downs. Yeah, people are sensitive. Gasoline prices here are no joke. Today I see $4.79. Woo! 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 It's like I gave a young man some money to help me move this stuff because we only went like a total of 10 miles, 5 miles there, 5 miles back. But he drive a big truck. It was a big F-150. And he told me it cost him $90 to fill. I know my truck. I mean, you know, this 05 Freestyle, it cost me about $30. It's a V6. It's that zippy V6. But I get great gas mileage. I'm getting like 20-some miles per gallon. So, but it still cost me about $30 to fill up. Yeah. So when he said it cost 90 in that big V80 drive. But I'll say this was an outstanding young man. Oh, I didn't tell this other story. We went to Wendy's. And so we order And I knew the stuff was going to be about $20. I just knew, it was kind of her birthday little thing because I really didn't get to spend my daughter's birthday. So it was my way of taking her out. And that's where she wanted to go because we both love Frosties. I'm not going to lie. I like Frosties. And so we get dinners, and this shit comes up to $20. And it was funny the way the numbers was hitting me the other day. I think it was 20, 25. So I had a quarter and I was about to give it to him, giving the money. So he's like, "No, I got you." So I paid him, and he gave me back $10. And I'm like, the hustler in me is like, cool, fuck him. No, but I was like, nah, I don't want you to be short. And I was like, this ain't right. He's like, "I got you, 8 Wind." I was like, oh, I think he knows my son, but it was like the first time that somebody had hooked me up like that. So he's like, "I got you, 8 Wind." And I was like, okay, but I think it's my son's friend. So I appreciate it. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. So, but he hit me with the 8 Wind. I was like, okay. Because I know my son's friends, and my son, everybody loves him. Like the young man today is one of my son's friends. He called him, his friend called me. He texted me right up. "I'll be what time you need me." He helped me bring the stuff in the crib, and he's like, "You want to take this stuff out?" And he helped me take it out. He's like, "Anything else?" But it just shows you treat people good, because he spent the night over here. Where my son is living right now, the cat lived with us for 2 months. His dad just left him. His dad quit paying rent, and just left the apartment. And this boy was only 15, 16. So he lived with us for a couple months. He was welcome here. But that's how cold his dad did him. So now they're both in Minnesota. My son went on his own, which that's what I raised him to be, a man. And as a man, he should want to be on his own. I did this. Well, shit. When I was 18, I moved 1,000 miles away. I went from Michigan to North Carolina. I think it's like 900 and some miles away. Bust Down Sister Girl must have that whippersnap because it got her to the top. There you go, Valerie. Probably so. Probably so. Probably so. And she ain't that much younger than me. I'm 60. That chick is in her late 50s. But the fake stuff, that's why I call her Sister Girl, because the fake stuff, carrying the hot sauce in the bag, and talking about music that we too old. We was grown when Snoop Dogg came out. So don't try to say when you was in college. Chick, you only 3 years older than me. She 3-4 years older than me. When Snoop Dogg come out? 90, 91? Unless she was talking about in law school, but I don't know. Bust Down Sister Girl. I might have to say it like that. I might have to say it like that, Valerie. Bust Down Sister Girl. I like that. Somebody called me the other day. "Do you mind if I put that on my Facebook?" I'm like, shit, I don't care. That shit. I haven't I haven't paid to get it all mine yet. I tried to explain to a co-worker of mine about gematria, and that Sandy Hook was a hoax. He was in denial, and then that conspiracy, people just wow. What's interesting is first of all is conspiracy theory is an FBI spell word. The FBI applied it to people that didn't believe in the Kennedy assassination. But what they was implanting the word, if you disagree with the government, that's how people try to mark you. So don't take that spell. Break that spell as they say it to you. But yeah, I know somebody that lives in that area. Or I used to. And it was all very unlikely. And then they try to tell you one of them got sued, and we don't want to hear that crap. And it's the demos, that shooting, taking away the guns, that's the demo's agenda. So you can't say that it's not their agenda. That stuff come from them. Them is military operations, that you've been seeing. So graduated his, enlisted in 05 to 17 years old. Graduated his and enlisted. What was that? His album came out in 94. There you go. Yep. 92, his album came out. Yeah, exactly. Graduated and enlisted in 05 at 17. Okay, Rocky. I had to bust my ass at work like everyone else, not using my snapper. There you go. High school equals HI. There you go. LeBron 66, Lakers 66. Oh, that's a good one. Kevin Durant 49, Warriors 489. Ah, that's pretty smooth decoding. That's pretty smooth decoding. Because I watched Zach on Wednesday. I like Rambo. And I don't dislike Zach. I'm not his enemy. You don't hear me really trashing anybody. But what I said about Sister Girl, that's about the worst I'll say about somebody. I ain't gonna sit here and down anybody or anybody's hustle. Whatever you do, that's what you do. I'll just make observations. That's what I do. I make observations about people. That's all. I mean, it was hard for me to understand looking at Biden's past. And even though Biden is from what, Maine or some shit on the East Coast, he was a Dixiecrat. He's the last living Dixiecrat. And then even Obama. I remember I was dating this girl in 10, and it's like, well, Obama ain't nothing but one of them Bushes. They got a lot of that Bush training in him. And I'm just trying to explain that snatching people off the streets intensified. Snatching people around the world intensified. Obama did everything that the Bushes did. And really, he ain't even a brother. I mean, not really. Not really. He is a true African American. His daddy's from Africa. And his mom was born from them peoples. So what do you think he's really looked at? And then they want all you to not go to parties and be the Lone Ranger, and they partying hard. Like, don't give a fuck. So it's a double standard. They ain't shaming him. You don't see major shaming. And that's the kind of society we got. She was out here scrubbing the ground with it while she was making an honest living. I see in the Arizona picture dropped a no-hitter in the first major league game. That's the most obvious scripting. His sleep still can't see it. Wow, that's a good point, homie. Or like the team that threw a team no-hitter. It's like everybody, the relievers and everybody. When can that really happen? First of all, the second time you see a pitcher, second, if you see a pitcher the third time, there's a good chance you're going to hit him because he's getting tired. Hitter's still pretty fresh most of the game, as long as your eyes and everything. So, yeah. But baseball is the most easiest to script, baseball and hockey. And hockey even has, Zach showed a video, and it's probably erased, but it showed the puck. So there's nobody down on the ice but the goalie. He's all by himself. The puck hits the baseboard. The goalie kind of slides to that side, hits the baseboard, and it bounces back around the goalie and goes in. There's a hockey game that you can find where a dude catches the puck in the air and stuffs it in the net in a playoff game, and they called it a goal, good goal. Then they lie, say no replay. All them refs, nobody saw him catch the puck and throw it in the net. And then he raises his hands like a goal. That just shows you how it's always been fixed. Forgot about Blake. I thought he was out of the league. Blake Griffin, 64 Nets. Wow. I forgot about hey, Unique Breed. 158 Durant. Wow. I like your first game. You get a no-hitter. That's the I didn't know. That's so flagrantly manipulated. It is. It is. In baseball, it was like the Twins played, was it last night or the night before? The dude gave up the first two hitters, both hit home runs on it. And the first dude was first pitch. The second dude was first pitch. I'm like, wait a minute. That just. And I'm trying to think of the brother that's playing first base for the Twins. This dude he ain't hitting. He has a strong arm. His natural position is third base, but he ain't hitting. He's made 2 errors the last couple. Well, they playing the Sox, and the Sox is in first place. But it's like 2 pop flies this brother handled badly. And I'm like, oh, man, you got to catch them. And again, he's on a losing team. Said he sold his soul to be a star. That's what a lot of them do. That's what a lot of them do. They sell their soul. And I think people are really, and something I brought in is like when you say people sacrifice, you got to say it all. Human sacrifice. because just saying they sacrifice kind of sugarcoats a little bit. It doesn't show the human aspect of it. But when you throw in human sacrifice, that makes it seem more real. And that's something I think we all have to say. Don't just say they were sacrificed. They was human sacrifices. Because we throw in that word out there too much. Well, sacrifice. Well, a human was sacrificed. And that's what a lot of the violence, like I was watching FX, and you can say fuck and motherfucker on FX now. I didn't know that. This is regular TV. There's a show called Dave that was kind of funny, but they cussing, saying motherfucker, fuck this. I didn't know regular TV could do that. So I was kind of amazed. I was like, well, okay. But then we see soft porn on TV now. How do you think they sell their soul? Well, I've said before, most sports people, it kind of goes like this. The original contracts, and I know Sly touched on, me and Sly both touched on this before, is there was contracts that was signed in blood. So you get pricked, you sign it, you get pricked, they put the blood pool right there, and they get one of the old-fashioned fountain pens, and then you sign your name in blood. And then there was the hologram picture, just a picture. So you would sign your name over the hologram. And then what they have now is the moving image. It's still a hologram, but you are signing over whatever you're doing moving. It ain't just a static picture. And so what it is when your time has come, and what you sign is not only you signing that your energy signature is going to be taken, they, just like the brothers is breaking down gematria, your deaths and what family deaths you might give up. Now, I call the Walter Payton, when you take the L, that's the Walter Payton. When you say, no, don't do my family, I'll take it. Black Panther guy that played James Brown too. He said, don't take my family, take me. He took it on the chin. So what happens to them ain't going to be what happens to you, where you run away from the light. They go into the light. That's why you got to look at, when you call yourself a light worker, what does that really mean? Because light is blinding too. And you don't want to be part of the blinding light. Now, again, you can go out, and when you go into jet black, you can turn this thing on and you create your own light in the dark. That's the real light worker, not where you just join the light. Because the light, not like Boob Whisper, go into the light, Johnny, just go into the light. No, you want to go away from the light. You want to go away from the Borgia. Because that's what they do, like that. And that's the most important thing of leaving your body before death, is so you get used to leaving your body. Because if the first time you leave your body is when you die, you see something common. You see the Borgia, you see a relative. That's what they'll work on, because you confused. You've never went into your Akashic records. You've never left your body other than sleeping. I guess I'll share this. How do I want to put this? Like, I think they've really been coming after me. Now, everyone knows that, they killed my nephew a few weeks ago. But I think I've had a couple attempts on me too. And I saw death a couple weeks ago. I was laying down and something hit me, and I pretty much felt dead. I really did. Because I was like put in the void, and it was just a split second. I mean, it was like off on, but I was turned fully off. And I probably shouldn't be sharing that, but I really was. I felt that I was turned fully off. I felt being in the void. Now, I have no fear of that. I've said before, if you like these, I get hurt. But as far as being sick, I ain't been sick since what, 01? Now, when my daughter was a baby, I think we share the same blood type. She get little sniffles. I got allergies anyway. So Yeah, they shed blood in a contract. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Who becomes a human sacrifice? How does one determine? See, that's the negative part of it, and all of it's negative. But it's again, if we're talking about an entertainer or even an athlete, if you're chosen, it's scripted for you. So you kind of get a brief look at how you're going to be scripted. I mean, like take DMX for an example. How his career, he was people forget that mug made 2 or 3 movies, and so they plugged him here, 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 and then his drop was dramatic. And so when the drop comes, it's like, who are they going to take out? I mean, look at all the people taken out around Puffy, just for example. Look at all them people. The one Puffy was blowing off, Andre Harrell, Mr. Jekyll and Hyde. I think it was Jekyll and Hyde, part of Jekyll and Hyde. How he got bumped off. So far as determining, they come to you, and that time is up, and then the beast likes blood. So the beast wants a human sacrifice. And so, like Drake was giving them up left and right. Well, you saw so and so in the video, you saw so and so around you at a party, get him. And that's how a lot of entertainers give up people. Seems like Drake and Puffy is 2 people to give up people. So pro athletes seem to take it on the chin. But we have seen pro athletes that the family gets it too. So it's kind of to say who and how is determined. It's a lot of different angles for that. It was strange how Chadwick got married before he died. His income would be left to the new wife, possibly, if he had a will, though. If he had a will. Was this when you were talking about your younger self waking you up and telling you to breathe? No, Gray, this was another time. This was another time. I even wondered if I had a seizure. I really do wonder. It was so quick, though. It came and left. But no, this wasn't that time. This was another time. Oh, I should have showed what I got instead of I should have showed this what I got to sleep in. I should have brought that in here next time. You're gonna live forever. Oh, I hope not. I had a vision of me and one of my son's it was like one of my son's grandchildren. I was sitting in a chair and I was super old. I mean, really old. And one of my future ancestors came over and he held my hand. And I knew, like, I could tell he reminded me of my son, my second oldest son. So I saw that it came from that line. But I was so old and he wasn't scared of me. Now, I've had a couple future ancestors come to me, or future relatives come to me. But I was so old. I remember looking at myself, and I mean, I was like 100 and some years old. And this sweet little boy came in and he just held my hand. And I remember looking at him, and, again, when your family gets so big and you have so many great grandchildren, you don't know everybody. When you get so old, you don't know everybody. I remember my great grandfather was like that. I mean, the family was so big. I mean, my one aunt had 8 children alone, so they get to having children. So I don't know if I could answer your question, Denise. I don't know if that answers it fully. It's depending on the person. And as we watch, some people take it on the chin, some people bump off their relatives. So X decline, yeah, Adobe. It was very drastic. Exactly. Yep, very. Jennifer Hudson. Oh my goodness, Jennifer Hudson. See, she's starring in Aretha. She's starring in she got an Academy Award. Remember all that? Yeah, she gave it up. And in the new movie, Aretha got her daddy was a preacher. And Aretha, the word from the time I was a little boy, the word is Aretha got pregnant by her daddy at 12, that her oldest son was by her daddy. That was what the word was. Now, I grew up hearing that. And so they ain't put that in the movie. They didn't put it in the TV movie. Whatever that channel that shows the TV movie, they didn't put that in there either. But that was what the word was, that Aretha got pregnant by her daddy at 12. That's a tough life. Have you ever had a dream of you falling off a building? No. I've had dreams of flying. I love dreams of flying. If I'm flying in my dream, I turn around. I love flying backwards. That's the funnest shit, to go backwards and just like you're backstroking, but just zoom through space time backwards. So no, I never had that feeling of falling off. No, I rarely had that. If I do, yeah, I tend to fly. So no, never had that of falling like that. Was another music executive connected to Puffy. They say Clive Davis taught Puffy, probably. And Clive got a bunch of bodies around him too. Yep, she gave up 3, including the child, because she's not making waves like that. There you go. What about Whitney? See, Whitney that's interesting. Whitney is interesting. My cousin wrote a couple hits for Whitney as well as Aretha. And wow, that's a type of, wow, like it hit generations like that. And then the supposed killer, then he gets it. So it's like, but Whitney was so talented. Again, her mother didn't appear to be out there like that. Now she admitted, and her brother admitted, that her brother got her on cane. And Whitney was my age, maybe a year younger. But and I don't know. I mean, you saw her smoking cigarettes and stuff. She was doing freebase though. She wasn't. That's why she said crack is whack. She was doing freebase, which is stronger, more addictive. But it's like they really destroyed her. They really did. They destroyed what made her special. And her brother admitted that he got her doing cane and stuff. Bobby says she was already doing the shit. You watching the show where she high and she trying to get Bobby high. She's like tugging at Bobby, and Bobby's like trying to deal with the family. And then her and Bobby go off, and next thing you know, Bobby like this. You know how their faces, their lips be like that after they smoke? They be doing that shit. So it's like they really, like Mariah Carey ain't really getting destroyed like that. It looked like she got all that torture and stuff when she was married to that first Tommy Mateo, whatever his name was. Like that was part of her initiation. But Whitney, they destroy Whitney. Hey, Jeffrey, how you doing? Can't be homeless. Wow, that's gonna make him homeless. That's sad to hear. Article about used to have orgies at the church. Valerie, yeah, he was wild. He was definitely wild. He was famous. He was famous when she was a little girl. He was famous. 6'3" and I am 5'10", so I guess I have more courage and strength and willpower than him, such a big guy. Yeah, it is insane. Whitney replaced Phyllis Hyman. They say Whitney was easier to control than Phyllis. And I met Phyllis and I was in love with her. That was one of the prettiest women I've ever met. She wasn't quite tall as me, but she talked shit with the best of them. Yeah. She was on stage at A&T and they stole my beer. They found my beer and they were like, because I had hid my beer in the stadium. They found it. And she comes on stage, she's like, "What are you drinking?" She's like, "Fuck, this is some fucking Heineken." And then I walk in the room before and I'm like looking at my bag and they done found my beer. A bunch of the beer was busted, so it was stinking a little bit. But she's like, "Oh, you got the cess?" And I'm like, "I got the cess." So got to meet her a few times. But yeah, she was a beautiful woman. Seemed like bothered soul, which is the way they took her out. She was talking about, buying property in the hood, trying to build stronger hoods. And that's probably part of the reason they took her out too. Beautiful woman though. And to say that beautiful woman, died of being depressed, seemed like a cover story to me. What do you think about Whitney as a man? I'll say this. Whitney looked less like a man than the tennis players. I'll say that. Hard to say. I mean, you really got to measure from here to here. Whitney don't pass that. She had big hands, big feet, and kind of made you wonder. But the way she sang, not to say men, but she had the way she sang, most men don't sing like that. And I'm even talking about the Prince falsetto or even Eddie Kendricks. She didn't really sound like them. So that one I don't know. I'd say the tennis player looks more. Pam Grier is another one. I've told this story before, arguing with a woman on Facebook because uh, Richard Pryor said in his own words, I was about to marry one of them, and they were fine, and that was Pam Grier. Richard Pryor tells that Pam Grier is that way. She ain't never had children. Oh, let me change the subject. And maybe I brought this up, but I'll bring this up again. So, I'm a fan of Dana Delaney. If you saw, I love her smile. I got a picture of her. I've had a picture of her for years because I love her smile. And maybe I said this the other night. I'm an old man, but I'm going to say this shit again. I have studied her for years, and this chick had children and was married. And now they saying she don't have any children and she ain't never been married. Now, I talked about that before, so I'm sorry. I brought it up before. But I'm like, how did they change that shit? What was the purpose of them getting rid of her children and saying she ain't been married? I don't know, though. I tripped. I brought that up the other night, so I'm sorry. The video of the Olympic women runners was hilarious. Oh, my goodness. Phyllis Hyman knew how to sing, and she had stage presence. They don't make them like that anymore. Yeah, Phyllis was beautiful. I mean, really, she was totally my type. And they say she died sad, out of depression, but they probably took her out. Because I didn't see none of that. Again, I met her a couple of times, but I didn't see that. She had it going. She really had it going. And to say that, because she didn't have such and such relationship, like that was the one relationship, and that was going to never be another relationship. That's a hard one to swallow. But when you take it on the chin, you say, take me, don't take my family. Very possible. Very possible. Don't take my family, take me. So that's what I'm thinking. Cosmic Slop, Alien Traders, aliens coming to Earth to get black people. Very good movie. But Cosmic Slop was also a song. I can hear my mother call. Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the Cosmic Slop. That's some Funkadelic. That ain't Parliament. That's straight Funkadelic. I forget the verse. My mother said, and two young brothers, we seen it hard, we seen it kind of tough, but always with a smile. She was sure to try to hide the fact from us that life was really tough. I can hear my mother call. Yeah, that's that Funkadelic. She was sad because they shelved her music career. That could be Dopey. Could be. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. There you go. Betcha by Golly Wow was my favorite track from her. Oh, yeah. She sings on Starship too with David. You can take me, I'm yours. She's in that one too. You can take me, I'm yours. She sings with him too. And she sings with him on it's on Norman Connors, but it's her and what's his name? You Are My Starship. Come take me up tonight and don't be late. I think she sings on that one, but she's on Take Me, I'm Yours too. You can take me. Michael Henderson. That's who I'm talking about. Michael Henderson. She sang with Michael Henderson too, but I want to say she's on Star Trek, but Starship, but maybe it's Take Me, I'm Yours. But I liked her in that one, her and Michael Henderson. When I'm gone, will you come with me? And then he sang Valentine. Would you be my Valentine? I'm cracking and shit. But Michael Henderson, if y'all don't like Michael Henderson, but I didn't like his song, Hit Me, I'm the Wide Receiver, Hit Me from the Rear. Wasn't really a fan of that song. There you go, Jay. Jay. Yeah, Jay. There you go, Jay. I can hear my mother call. There you go, Alito. One Nation Under Groove is my favorite. Oh, I love that one too. But Freak of the Week though, when Ken Funkadelic plays like the disco version of Freak of the Week, when Kid Funkadelic plays that solo, and he's like, then he breaks it down. Oh, that is bad. He gets right in there. He plays it. It's like if you listen to California Dreaming by Eddie Hazel, that's Jimi Hendrix. He basically plays all along the Watchtower. He's playing Jimi Hendrix style and puts a little bit of All Along the Watchtower, but it's California Dreaming by Eddie Hazel. Yeah, Flashlight, and I've talked about this before, is Bernie Royale. That if you want to hear a true musician, Flashlight extended version with Bernie Royale, he plays everything. He plays everything. I think lead guitar is the only thing he didn't play, but everything else, man, he is killing it. Because it's the first time you had the bass. The first time they used a keyboard or synthesizer for the bass. It's the first song that had that, where it wasn't a real bass player playing it. It was Bertie Worrell. Oh, that was, man, that song was so cold. Without a bass line. It was by the Funkadelic. Well, that Flashlight might have been Parliament. Flashlight might have been Parliament, Rocky. Yeah, that might have been Parliament. Yep. But same group, Bernie Royale. You can see him live play that too. Yeah. It was Parliament. It would have been not the Funkadelic. Flashlight would have been under Parliament. Yeah, that's Flashlight. Yep. The Flashlight, neon lights, red lights. Oh, I love that. That was my senior year in high school. Disco versions was the thing. I mean, my senior year, we went from disco, new wave, and then cowboy shit. Disco, new wave, and then dressing like cowboys. Bootsy Collins on the strings with the platinum boots and shades. Bootsy would have played under, trying to think, on that Funkadelic album. I don't know, because he was doing his old album then, so you caught him live, a lot of times live. I lived through 5 decades. Yeah, I'm 60. So I technically lived in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Yeah. Did you hear about Dennis Schroeder, who is a player, turning down $84 million and then having to sign for 5 with the Celtics? Yeah, that was a stupid move. He didn't look at the whole picture, and now he's getting shamed, which he properly can. He one of them players from somewhere else. He ain't an American player, so I don't feel sorry for him. His wife upset because she had her hands in that pocket. He overestimated his talent. He clearly overestimated his talent. So, maggot brain. Yeah, I remember the first time my son, I talked about this before. My first time my son heard I was taking him to football practice, and I'd had it on in one of my rides, and he was like, he was mesmerized. It was like, I'm like, get the fuck out. It's time to go to practice. He's like, I want to hear this a little bit. He was mesmerized. And maggot brain comes from one of George Clinton's brothers being killed. And when they found him, he had maggot brains. So, yep, he's a German player. If you watch a movie, What If, another multiverse series on Disney, I have to check it out. By the way, Free Guy and Shang-Chi are probably the last movies you're going to see for a while. Wow. Yeah, CWE. Yeah, they all got to be mad. His agent, all of them. But if I was Schroeder, I'd be mad at my agent because they just didn't look at the market. They didn't look at his talent. And that's what he didn't understand, that how many people was moving this year. And so he's getting shamed, rightly so. He's getting shamed, and he'll never make that money back. He went from making 20 plus million to now taking the veteran minimum of 5 million. And after taxes, that's about 2 million in your pocket. So instead of making 40 million in 2 years, and even after taxes, that's about 20 to 30 million. He's making, instead of making 50 million in real cash in 2 years, this fucker is going to make basically 4 million. Bad business. He's stupid. Yes, Caden. Very stupid. You're the guy that hates. Okay. But yeah, he's stupid. He had a bad, you went already because you get confirmation. There you go. I don't want to be the told you so guy, but the fact that I get another validator for being called crazy, and I didn't call you crazy. I've offered you to come on here anytime. We friends on Facebook, so you see how I be posting on Facebook. And anybody I'm under Brian Toby Macon, I ain't hard to find. I talk shit to people. It was like somebody here in town. I was talking shit to him about some shit. with the police. Because up here they said the police going in Minneapolis proper, they said the police gonna stop stopping people for headlights being out, stop stopping people for something hanging in your mirror, and stop stopping people for expired tags. Because the DMV ain't nothing but a money-making arm of the government. That's it. It's just money-making. Tickets is just money-making. There's no quota system, but damn it, when it's time for your evaluation to come up, if you don't reach a certain level, damn if they're going to get you for performance. So you can't say that ain't a quota system. There's a quota system. You got to show you doing something. And that doing something is writing fucking tickets, which ain't nothing but a money generator. It ain't for safety. The only time really you should be stopped is for drunk driving or reckless driving. So if you pass a school bus, yes, you should be stopped. Because one of the first cases that got people stopping, I lived through that. They let this little boy off across the highway. And he ran across the highway and got killed. We driving down the road right behind us, he got killed. Little boy was a kindergartner. Nobody there to meet him. He had to cross a highway and he got killed. So yes, that should be. But something hanging from your mirror, expired tags, that's infringing. We shouldn't have to pay tags. If you want to pay insurance, now if you got a lien on a car, of course you got to pay insurance to keep the lien. But if you got to own a car outright, you shouldn't have to pay insurance on it. It's on you. If it get crashed, that shit's on you. And I always think that insurance, if you don't get in an accident all year, you should get almost 90% of your money back. What have they really done for you? If you didn't get in a crash, what have they done other than to show if you get stopped, you got insurance? That's why I say you should get 90% of your money back. They shouldn't get to keep 100% of your money if you don't use their service. That's like buying a prostitute. You just get to look at it. You don't even get to go in. You just get to look at it. Well, if I just get to look at it, I want my money back. Right? If you give her 100 or wherever it costs, and she just lets you look at it, and you can't do nothing to her, I want a refund. Hey, Crazy Sarge, thanks for joining. Can I get a refund? It's crazy how many times I've been pulled over and it's never been reckless or drunk driving. Exactly, Jay. Exactly. That Castile dude that got killed on YouTube or on Facebook, they said he had been pulled over like 30 times, which makes me wonder, was he an informant? Because sometimes that's how they get to their informants. They pull you over. But that made no sense. And we know that it's just, that's why right now the feds is in Minneapolis, because it's not just the Floyd shit. This is a crooked department. It's a crooked department. It's been crooked. And you should have neighborhood policing, not somebody coming from somewhere else. So, well, guys, I think I'm gonna have to call it a night. Something like this is being uncomfortable. My back is screaming. So, as always, I do give you a little time walkers. You see how I turn my head is like. I do give the time walking. I do give the time walking, a little bit of time walking information, so you can go through it all. So Mora, it all starts with a gentle sadness. They came from their original homeland. They knew that they had an exact number of years and days before they would disappear off the earth as a culture and a lifestyle. But the civilization would build to a gentle love. They lived in the Creator's day and knew how to separate cycles in the great serpent, which is the Milky Way. And as the mind would say, I am another yourself. So thank you, everyone. I won't be back on until probably next Wednesday night or Thursday night. So maybe I might come on Monday, but I don't know. If I feel better, then we'll see. So this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. Appreciate everybody. I appreciate the questions. 50 Cents was here. Yes. That's why he was here. I was telling that to my man today. That's why. Okay, I couldn't figure out why he was here. I was hearing it. Yeah, yeah. He was here. I knew he was here, but I couldn't figure out for what. Okay, that's why he was here. Yep, I knew he was here because the little guy helped me today. He was playing some 50, and I'm like, man, he's here today or tomorrow. But yeah, I saw that he was here. So, all right. Thank you guys. Till we meet again.